guys, and welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and today we are going to be diving into Crackpack 3. Now you may be wondering, what is Crackpack 3? Well, you can thank the whole Minecraft team for putting on an awesome marathon in 2019, where they raised over $250,000 towards Extra Life. They usually put on a live stream once a year. It is super awesome to be a part of, and one of the goals was to get a pack out, and Darkosto and his development team spent about 7 days in a marathon themselves working and making this pack. So here we are in Crackpack 3, and I have been doing some live streaming of this pack, so you can find me at twitch.tv/ChosenArchitect, where I have been playing this. It is going to be a separate world. This is our Let's Play, and man, I had a lot of fun during the live stream, so I was like, you know what, I really want to dive in and get cracking with this pack. So let's go ahead and do that. So just to get started off, I wanted to say, because I get these questions a lot in like every series I talk about, they want to know where this comes from, where this fair comes from. It comes from Hellfire PvP, who is the developer of Astral Sorcery and several other mods, and it's a Patreon supporter perk. Also, I get the question about the flower on my head. That comes from Vasky on Patreon as well. It is a Patreon supporter perk for Britannia, which is beautiful, and Vasky, who was also a developer of several mods as well. So those are usually two questions I get asked a lot. I do like to support the mod devs, and I do recommend you guys supporting them as well. Also pack devs as well. You can find Darkosto and his team, and of course he can link you to everyone else who is involved. But Darkosto also streams on Twitch, and he's the developer of the Modpack. Of course, him and many other people. But he does stream on Twitch. So if you don't know who Darkosto is, then I recommend looking him up on Twitch as well. Pretty awesome. He does put on some pretty awesome live streams. So getting started with this mod pack, right? There's a lot of stuff to do. Also, another question is what is the seed that I have right here? The seed is called ChosenCrack. You can find it in the description below, along with several other useful links. I always recommend people checking the description, because a lot of people don't usually check the description, but there's a lot of useful information there. So getting started, that's what I've been, I try to get started here. So let's go ahead and open up a few things. So we have a world, we have an open blocks book, we have a forestry manual, and we have an astral sorcery tome, and we have a blueprint package from something you guys have maybe never seen. And when you open the blueprint package, you're going to receive some blueprints. And I'm going to show you how to use these and how to get started with this. It's actually pretty easy. First thing, we needed to destroy a tree. So if you hold down the key above your escape key, which is called the grave key or tilde key, and you just, punch a tree, it's going to start dropping all of its items. It'll break all of the blocks. There is some keybinds. This mod's called Ore Excavation, and it's pretty easy to get started with. So let's go ahead and push all of this, kind of get the early base start happening. So if we take this blueprint, say I want to make a pickaxe, well, I can actually make the pickaxe head like this, and then we can make some sticks. I can combine the pickaxe head with the sticks, and I get a jagged wooden pickaxe, just a regular pickaxe. Now, I think you can also still make a regular pick, but you'll see here, this item is poorly made and will not last long. So you're better off doing this. This has 57 durability, whereas this one is going to have 29 durability. Same goes for pretty much all your vanilla standard tools. It's going to be better to just go ahead and make this, and then grab a little bit of cobblestone. It's really nice, though, that we're in this area. We have some apatite here, which is the equivalent to bone meal, which is really, really useful. But I'm here mostly to grab this. Now, every time you hear that tick that just happened with your pick, you have a durability loss that I noticed happening. Kind of a thing that happens. I also wanted to go over a few other things. I wanted to leave everything standard, basically how you guys would download the pack, so I can help you guys adjust things if you guys want to. Two things that I usually tend to adjust. You can see every time I look at a new item, the thing at the very top kind of shows you just what you're looking at. If you don't like the way the information is presented to you, I tend to not like it being colored. If you hit 0 on your numpad, on the numpad itself, and if you don't have a numpad, you probably need to go into your keybinds and change this. You go into Walla, and then configure aspect. This lets you move it around a little bit, but I'm going to go here and turn the alpha all the way down to 0. And what this will do is this will make it where it is completely transparent and it's just not blocking the view as much. Another thing I like to do is you can hit J on your keyboard. That's going to open up Journey Map. And we're going to go inside the Journey Map and go into Options right here. And go into Map Preset 1, which is the mini map that's up in the top right-hand corner. First of all, I like to hit the FPS slot to show the FPS up in the top right corner. That can be kind of useful to show you some more information. Everything else is pretty useful. This is game time related. I do change this to XYZ because that's just how my brain likes to read this. I like to change the mob display to icons, usually large icons. And then I change the font scale up for both compass font scale and font scale because I always find it's kind of small for me personally. And then I bring the map down to about 25 because I think it's too big. Sometimes I'll even turn the map completely off and only use map preset 2, which is a hotkey that you can hit. It's underneath your back key is your slash, your backslash, and or forward slash, sorry. And that will open up a larger map. You can of course hit plus and minus to zoom in on your mini map as well, if that's something you want to do. So these are configurations that you don't have to do, but I always tend to change them, and I get a lot of questions. So let's grab some coal. Let's just get started, man. Let's get cracking. That's exactly what we need to do. We need to find some iron. I really want to get some iron going. Let's go ahead and make a furnace. We're not going to stay here, but this is temporary until we can get things going. I would love to find some sheep as well. I do see some spiders. I don't know if they're underground or above ground here. But man, I would really like to get a hold of some spiders. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll take some of that coal. Actually, let's go ahead and make some torches first with that coal. I would prefer to do that than using it. We have tons of wood here. And torches will be very useful for us. All right, let's look around and let's see if we can't find any surface iron or find any like caves or whatnot. That'd be... This pack is all about adventuring. It's all about finding good things. And exploring. I mean, there's so many dimensions in this pack. It's absolutely incredible, the sheer amount of dimensions and the way to get to them. We're going to be going over that as well. It's just completely unreal. You know, we could use copper. We need to probably upgrade our pickaxe to a stone one at this point. That might be a good idea, just so we can harvest those few things. I'm going to go ahead here and just make myself a pickaxe now. It would be nice if you were able to like stick this on here and upgrade the current tool you have, but it's not the case. So we just basically create a new pickaxe head and we get ourselves a stone one. And you can see this one says brittle. Now brittle unfortunately means it's going to take a little bit of extra durability hits. Each time we mine something with it, there's a chance that it can use more durability. If you hold down control, it shows some more stats. And there's also more stats down at the bottom. And if you hit Alt, it shows you the quality of the materials used. And you see we have a piece of stone that was of A quality. Pretty nice. Later on, we can get some different things to test that with. There is something nearby making hissing noises, which is absolutely horrifying. So let's go ahead and make a machete. Oh, I know it's underneath us. There's a blizz, I think, is underneath us. All right, so let's go ahead and break one more. And this will get us a machete blade. Well, it's kind of cool. We actually got a machete. I don't know if this is randomized each time you play, but I got a katana last time. But you can make these blueprints later on, and there's tons of different blueprints and different weapons you can sort through. So we'll take this and just add one piece, and we get ourselves a stone machete. We'll add that to our toolbar. There we go, and we're ready to go. So another thing is you're going to want to find food, but if you kind of run low on food, something that you can definitely do is break leaves. Leaves tend to drop a bunch of these berries, but you got to be careful because some berries are good. Nightshade is definitely a berry you don't want to be eating. Elderberries are good though. They do heal the poison. The other berries are definitely not okay. You can also eat most things out of these Pam's Harvest Craft bushes, which is another thing to look at. All right, so we're gonna continue. I guess we're gonna start immediately caving, getting some iron started. That's gonna be nice, right? So just at dark, I did manage to find a sheep, actually a couple sheep, which is great. They're all the same color, which means we can make a bed and sleep through the first night. So we don't have to come across any bad guys. Oh, super nice. All right, so that's 3 wool. I'm gonna go ahead and just double up, make another crafting table. We're kind of nomadic right now, so we can kind of move around wherever we want. But I definitely need to get that sleep started. So, bam. First night, sweet dreams, and we can actually get some sleep. And you see these floaty things here? If you pick them up, especially if you picked up your first one, you're gonna see these floating around. This comes from the Metamorph mod. There are side brackets, and basically just allows you to transform into the mob. Pretty cool. But later on, just a tip, later on you're going to encounter some things in the end that are going to unlock it, unlock the effects, because right now none of the mobs really have effects on them. Like if I was to transform into a spider after killing it, you can see here, I'm pretty sure I don't gain the ability to walk up blocks, right? Like you would think a spider would. Oh, I guess you do. So some morphs, I guess you need to keep an eye out because you can use them. The flying ones, though, are locked behind going to the end. It does say that in some tips. You can kind of see those tips that show up when you're loading different dimensions and stuff. So once your tool durability gets kind of low, you can actually repair your tools by just throwing the material in there. So that makes it really, really fast. Now, I was looking over here. It seems like it gets kind of wintry in this biome over here. Oh yeah, there's definitely snow. There's a structure over here I kind of want to check out. There's also a building over there that I think is towards some Wizardry mod. Let's take a look. What is in here? Just a little watering hole. That's kind of nice. Nothing really big and fancy there. I do notice there's a lot of sheep though, which is, I guess, is a good source of early game food. I'm gonna harvest some trees, and I guess we need to make ourselves a little house to get started, right? And man, I really like this pine wood. This stuff looks really good, and good thing we have ore excavation because it makes it really easy to get wood, and also it'll let me stockpile in some food while I'm at it. Now that I have some copper cooked up, I guess I'm gonna kind of skip the iron part because I can just go straight to copper using the materials. And yeah, now that we have wood, I guess we can make tons of sticks. And I'm gonna be upgrading to a copper tool. The harvest tool, I don't see where it says anything about the harvestability level, but it definitely has a bit more durability. 179 versus the 134. But it's just a little bit more. And I'm gonna go ahead and move. I'm kind of liking this mountain over here. And if we can sort of start near the base of the mountain and get ourselves a foothold in there, I think that'd be great. Just kind of building up into that area. Now, what to remove? I might just throw away some of my old tools and definitely take our bed. I don't need the crafting table though, but I will take the bed. We can get rid of nightshade. I don't think we're going to be needing nightshade anytime soon. Also, if you see trees like this, you might want to harvest this thing. If you're suffering with some food, this guy could be a lifesaver, because when you harvest this thing, tons of food is going to drop. And I mean a ton. Yeah, and you can speed up the process too if you want. Look at all this food. I'm talking all kinds of goodies. The cherries especially. These things are pretty decent food, and you probably also want to grab the saplings so you can replant more of these and let them grow up. I'm not too fond of the wood type, but they're definitely great food, and it'll suit you while you're on your adventure. If I'm not mistaken, this is the Electrobob's Wizardry Tower? Yeah, we just unlocked a advancement guide for it. You can see right here the Wizardry tab. If you hit L on your keyboard, you're gonna be able to pull up your tab here. Now, Crackpack does have a guide kind of built in that's going to talk about how to get from dimension to dimension, and talk about flight here, and just tell you a few things you can see right here. And there's a lot to it, but like each mod itself usually has its own tab. So if you're kind of struggling with a specific mod, this will help you get through here. Eventually, we're going to come back to this guy. This guy is definitely going to be important. I do want to try out the Wizardry mod and kind of get started with it. I think that'll be super fun. Well, man, is this not a great place over here to set up a base? Look at this. We're kind of high up. We can see. This is a pretty decent area. We have a jungle over here. Like we have protection back here where we can also maybe carve into the mountain. I think this is going to be a great place to set up base and to make our first little house. With all this flattened out, I think it's looking pretty good. We're going to let the grass kind of grow out. This is going to give us room for a crop or two. But we kind of have to come up with the footprint or our base for what this is actually going to look like. Yeah, this is the hard part, is figuring out the foundation. Now, the problem with playing modded Minecraft and having an above ground base is you can't hide things that well. Cabling becomes an issue and other things become issues. So I do like to have a basement most of the time for a lot of the more complicated cabling and wiring and things like that. And the rest, it kind of limits the amount of facades you have to make for certain things. But, you know, for getting started, a simple little base is going to be just fine. Now, let's see. I kind of like the way this pine wood looks. And then the spruce wood has a kind of dark tint to it. I'm wondering where the noise is coming from. There's got to be... I think there's a wizard guy underneath us. They kind of make that villager noise. So, with that being said, we have cobblestone. I haven't found iron yet, but I do plan on finding iron here soon, so I can make a chisel. We can actually turn this stuff into chiseled brick and chisel the wood, but I do kind of like the way logs look, especially these logs. These logs are kind of cool. So let's kind of get the foundation for our starter house. And some may say, oh, this isn't starter, but it's kind of what I like to do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gap in between is kind of what I like to start with. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just kind of make our first room a little 5 by 5, or a little 5 by 5 area, and then extend it even more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. And what this will create is a rather large area right here in this center piece. You could of course extend this out, but it allows us to kind of divide up some rooms and give us some room here. And then I might even create a little area on the front, but this is definitely looking nice. It is getting dark, so I'm going to go ahead and sleep, and we'll come back and we'll see what we can't do with the rest of this foundation. I was doing some mining, just kind of getting down here, and this is what you actually want to find. Look at that. We got iron right off the bat. And yeah, we kind of want to find exactly what I see here. Like maybe like, I don't know, this sounds a little bit scary. Do I really want to find this? Well, I would say yes. Even though there may be some skeletons, there may be some mobs in here, just run in, light it up as best you can, fight off the zombies. Like this sword should do a decent amount of damage to them. It's pretty fast. And just keep lighting the area up. Skeletons, on the other hand, they're a little bit worse until you get a shield. But once you get a shield, it's no problem coming in here. You also want to stay on the lookout for mob spawners, because they do spawn frequently, and you will find them a lot in here. But I'm also looking for iron, so I really need to find iron and coal. Both of those are very important right now. So ore excavation, just take it, just go for it. Until you get as much as you need. Yeah, I'm definitely after some coal. Very, very nice. Coal for more torches, and iron so I can progress with my tools a lot faster. Definitely. Another thing I'm kind of waiting for, which makes the mining process a lot faster and easier, is I have some sugarcane that I planted. I'm hoping that it grows pretty quickly, because the more we have, the better it's going to be for us. It lets us mine in a 3x3 area. Now, we can set a hotkey to change our ore excavation. You can see that in chat. I just bound the shape changing tool, so I can set this to a 3x3. And what this will do is I can just mine here, and it mines out a 3x3 tunnel. Of course, you see it did, however, break my tool. Now, you probably don't want to do this in... you probably don't want to do this if you don't have a lot of food, as it does eat through your hunger and also eats through your pickaxe. So keep all of those things in mind whenever you're working with this. Also, try to mark where your stairs are at so you don't get too lost. I know that is another issue that can arise, but we're almost there. I wanted to get some iron. I wanted to get some more stone, especially iron, so that way I could make a pick that, or make a chisel so I can change the way things look, but things are looking pretty good. We're doing quite well. I kind of have this mapped out sort of how I want it. And yeah, most of the grass is grown in. You can kind of see this is going to be a pretty large building. But I think we can make this work. We can definitely make this happen. Let's go ahead and get our iron in so we can make those chisels. Good thing we have all of this stone to work with, and we now have food. And yeah, if we need to get more wood, you know what? We're surrounded by a forest, so I don't think it's going to be too difficult to grab some wood. Now, I do want this raised off the ground, so this is actually going to be the floor, which is going to be 1 block up. And all this wood is going to be... I tend to like the roofs to be at least 6 blocks tall, I think. Or 5 blocks tall. I tend to like them to be pretty tall. Just it feels more spacious, and it feels like we can fit more things into the build. Now that we have this in place, I do want to go ahead and use the spruce. And we'll go ahead and convert that into wood. Now, this is going to be spruce on the entryway. Just like so. Also, the outside is going to be lined with upside down stairs. So we need to make some stairs here. You'll kind of see what I'm kind of doing. If we place upside down stairs, we get this kind of offset bit. And of course, all of this needs to be changed. So let's go ahead and do that. And then we'll just fill it back in. There we go. And we have ourselves a little front porch. Right? Nice. We have a little front porch. I tend to also do this. Just to give us a little step. But I might make this whole thing a stair. That probably would make more sense. There we go. I do need to go ahead and get myself an axe. That would make things a little bit easier. And the house is built. No, I'm just kidding. What we have here is just a blank outline for what a house could potentially be. And I think next episode, we're going to really get into what it's going to take to turn this thing into a proper base, and what mods we can actually use that are in this pack for some custom decoration things, which I think are going to look really good and really change a very simple box that we have right now that is using some basic color palettes kind of mixed together here. Like this right here is something that really changes the way things look. If you just want to, you know, change something up like this, you can go, all right, I want to add this. Bam. Now we have like a mixture where the walls fade in. But as you can see, the walls are kind of cracked in certain locations. We don't have any windows. This door is very bland. There's a lot to do, guys. There's a lot more to do. And we have to do that all in the next episode, because today we're all out of time. Guys, I really do appreciate you guys. You guys have been absolutely amazing. This has been a wonderful YouTube journey so far, and I can't wait to expand upon that this year. Guys, if you didn't already know, I do live stream over at twitch.tv/ChosenArchitect. You can find me over there most times. If I'm not live streaming, you can hit that follow button over there. That way you guys can be notified when I do go live, so you don't miss out on the awesome shenanigans that do happen during the live streams. I also will be playing this pack over there while these videos are being recorded, because that's honestly what I'm doing over there. It's actually really fun. This pack is honestly really fun. I've already played through about half through the world progression, which is pretty cool. But guys, I will see you over there. I really do appreciate it. I'll see you in the next episode. If you haven't clicked that subscribe button, I do recommend doing that as well. And click this like button if you did enjoy the video. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day.